Gonna start this off. Welcome to the show.
It's not
Bunch of fucking bullshit.
It's not
Shut up!
I hate you so much.
Shut the fuck up, Johnny.
Dude, I fucking hate that.
Thus it shall be, Imperious Rex.
Yo, rap professor, acknowledge the scholarship, no scholarship. Wordplay wizard, give it P on the llama spit. Follow this, those who don't fuck it, they face abolishment. Suckers slurp snickers and psychologically swallow dick. Shit, this ain't the same Sean from the last album. Don't smoke weed or smoky seed when I blast barrels. Clap Harold in the ride with Kane. Niggas get burnt lyrically, I'm supplying the flame, providing the cane. So pure I don't cut on it. Track ain't cracking, let's rock on it. Like who the fuck want it? Cricket noise in the background. Niggas quiet, can't do a thing when I smash down. Claiming you king, broke the guard, I will snatch crown. Put it back on my head, I'm taking it back now. Sean Price on some new and improved shit. Life is a chess game, I'm strategic with movements. You move, bitch. Checkmate. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Brokest rapper you know, Sean Price, with his track Rap Professor off of the album Imperious Rex. You know me. It's your boy, Uncle T. Back in the place to be. Making things heezy. Word. Hello, good morning. I love you all. It's good to be here. You know, I feel late making this, even though it's only 9:35. But I'm like, fuck, I'm burning daylight, you know? I don't know. My grandmother was a farmer, and so I think all that, like, farmer insanity, like, was passed through my dad and my mom, too. My mom grew up on a horse farm, but, you know, they still had to get up early and, like, muck the barn and shit. So it's like anytime we'd sleep in, they'd be like, you're burning daylight, you know, and they're like, come on. And I don't know, my whole family always get up early and they'd be like, we got to go. It's like, I'm a morning person. Anyway, we're not that late, but, you know, I'm jacked up to be here. I just had a massive pump fake on a trip that I'm planning. I got a ton of shit to tell you guys about. I'm back on the Melee grind. Fucking addicted to Melee. Sweaty nerd, you know. I'm talking about Super Smash Bros. Melee, a video game that came out in 2001 for the Nintendo GameCube. It took approximately 13 months to develop and is one of the most masterfully crafted fighting video games of all time, garnering an enormous underground following for the last, you know, coming up now on 3 decades. But, you know, for the last 2 decades already, you know, what would that be? 2025. So 24 years. It's insane. Came out on the GameCube, you know. Insane. Like, I know, like, for anyone listening who's not a fucking nerd, you know, you guys are going to be like, dude, skip. But I just, like, you know, like, here's all my shit. Here's what the controllers look like. Old ass controllers. You know what I mean? It's like old. And it's so ill that people are like, it came out on a system that was just, you know, before online gaming was a thing. People were so into it, they built emulators so they could play on their computer. Then they were so into it, they built a way to play the online against each other on the computer, which is fucking sick. And on top of that, they built like training tools. So you can download versions of the game that are like essentially modded so that they like will help you get better. And it's all these like incredibly niche circumstances that have been like pre-programmed into these like training mods. So you could be like practice situation A so you get better at practice situation. Like, it's crazy. You know, I'm putting half you guys to sleep, but the point is I'm back into it. I fucking love it. I'm going out to meet my cousin in BC because there's a big tournament in BC at the end of March. And anyway, so I was planning my trip for that. It's a long story, but like my skis, you need like correct skis to ski out west in the big mountains. And I have some of those, but they're not here. They're at Caitlin's family's house in Denver. And I have an aunt who lives in Beaver Creek, which is like a couple hours west of that or something. I don't know. So I was like, I will pick up my skis, visit my aunt, and then fly to Vancouver, right? But the thing is like, I was doing a whole round trip to visit my aunt who I love, but she lives in Beaver Creek, which is like a really expensive mountain resort, and lift tickets there are like $300 US a day. So I planned this whole trip and be like, I'll go, and the whole trip was to go pick up my skis and my equipment, right? So that I could go to Vancouver and go skiing with my cousin too, because we're gonna do that while we're out there. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll go pick it up. I'll pick up my skis and then I'll visit my aunt. And like, yeah, it's expensive a bit at Vail, but because it's like on the way, like it'll kind of all work out, right? And I planned this whole trip, and it was gonna be like thousands of dollars because it's a flight out there, a flight from there to Vancouver, the shuttle up to where my aunt lives in Beaver Creek, and then the Beaver Creek lift passes, which are like 300 US a day, right? And then like food and all this other shit. You know, it was gonna be like thousands of dollars. Like my lift tickets for Vail were gonna be, for the time I was there, were gonna be the same as my rent. So it's like, and I was like, oh, it'll work out, you know? And then I plan all this, I'm all jacked up, and then I go to my girlfriend and she's like, you're gonna spend like thousands of dollars on this. She's like, you can't afford this. And I was like, she's like, and then she goes, why don't you just rent skis in Vancouver with your cousin? And I was like, makes a lot of sense, you know? So anyway, I had a huge pump fake. I booked all of my tickets and then I canceled them all too. So, you know, just traveling for me, I'm so indecisive, and it fucking stresses me out. I get so shook about all the little, you know, the little like, make sure you have a check bag, make sure you have a fucking carry-on, and your carry-on's too small and too big and too large, and like, well, your layover's here, but it's a self layover, so you got to go pick up your things from the carousel and like recheck in, or maybe it's not a self layover, go direct to your gate. You only have 20 minutes to get there because of the layover. Did you pass the security? Should you do customs? Did you fucking, you know, did you check in the right group? Well, you didn't check it. You checked it in the wrong group, and we have a standby flight. It's like, holy fuck. It fucking tweaks me out. I hate it, man. I get so anxious about it, you know? And then all the cancellation policies are like, shit. Luckily, I did this within 24 hours. So within 24 hours, you get your money back, generally. But like Air Canada, the one out there from Montreal to Denver, I had booked, whatever, a day or so ago, so like over 24 hours. And they gave me a refund. They weren't going to give me a cash refund. It was going to be like 10% of my original money. Brutal. But they gave me a refund on like the credit card or like the Air Canada points. So I have like basically an Air Canada gift card, which is fine because I have to rebook my flight out to see my cousin for the Melee tournament. So just like a massive pump fake. I'm like kind of shook, you know, because I had all my shit booked. Yeah, great. And then I fucking debooked it all, and now I'm just like, you know, sitting in the aftermath. But we're all good. You know, I calm down. I get so emotional about this. Anyway, I'm bricked up, dude. I'm fucking bricked up, and I already feel better than all you, okay? This is the brick, and basically it's a way to stop you using your phone as much. You download the app, whatever. You don't need to set a password, which is sick. You need to give them your email because probably for like, you know, if you have trouble unlocking your phone, but no password. So you just put in your email, you're set. Then it works like it's an RFID or something. It works by proximity. So it's the same way as like Apple Pay. So it's like you touch the app, you push the button, and then it's like, then you touch this thing to your phone, and then your phone becomes bricked, and you cannot use a specific list of apps that you set up until you've touched this again to your phone. And the idea is you start the day, you touch it, you leave this somewhere like at home or whatever, you go about your day, you can't use your fucking phone. It's bricked, homie. It's bricked up, you know? And I can tell you it works. I have, like, my Instagram time is way, way down. I use it mostly to prevent myself against, to prevent Instagram scrolling, because that's just deadly. You know what I mean? Another thing I need is, like, prevent it against Reddit, but I can go on that on my browser app, and I don't want to block my browser, because you need it for other things, like, I don't know, checking the menu of a restaurant or whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm a little jacked up. I just had a cup of coffee. The veil thing got me all worked up. Too much money. But anyway, I'm bricked up. And you get to say that, I'm bricked up. Melee. So, starting at 9:35. Yeah. Melee is a kid's game, well, it's made by Nintendo, and Nintendo is famously, they try to market their video games as, like, for everyone, So it's like it's like cartoony graphics, it's not like Call of Duty, So I'm playing this kid's game, and then this is like a couple years ago, I go to this weekly tournament in Montreal, just to kind of, like, I don't know, test my chops, see how I stack up. And it's literally in, like, it feels like a cave, and they call it the Smash Cave, which is all kinds of, unfortunate innuendos that I'm sure you can, go off about 10 in your head. It's where dudes smash. It's where, well, I suppose that's about it. It's where dudes smash. But it's like in the basement of this building. I'm not even sure if the building is residential. And it's like a concrete square, like a cube. But there's kind of like cube A when you enter, right? Or like room A, that's just like a fucking cube. And then room B, which is like a smaller cube, like a step or two down. And then room C, which is basically like a little loft area. And somebody fucking lives up there. And they host weeklies, like weekly tournaments. And you step in, and it's a room just full of sweaty nerds. All dudes, of course, right? Sweaty nerds. And there's like 20 monitors, and they're all playing Melee. And they're all, I was like, must have been around 30 at the time. They're all like low 20s, So I'm like older. So it's like me and a bunch of children in like a sweaty cavern in some kind of like beige building. But I will say, for some reason, there was some guy there making fresh tacos. And they were delicious, and they were cheap. It was like $5 got you 2 tacos, They were good. So it smelled like tacos and BO, which is like, I've smelled worse things. Anyway, the point is, when you're at events like that, regular people with, correct hygiene skills, correct hygiene and social skills, or like, I should say, I don't want to say good, because it's not. It's like average, right? It's like people with baseline hygiene and social habits stand out, right? Those people stand out from the sea of neurodivergence, let's say. So, I'm gaming. I see these two guys. They look pretty cool. They got like they got a cool earring. They dress kind of cool. And above all, they don't stink, and they're not being fucking weird. So I'm game with them, and they're sick at Melee. And also, I forgot to mention, they're identical. They look the same. They're twins, So anyway, we're hanging out, and I start chatting with the guys, and I get to know them. And shouts out Ethan and Liam, cool dudes. They're younger than me. They're probably like 6 years younger than me, I think. I think we did the math, because it turns out they know my other cousin. They're the same age as him. But anyway, so we're hanging out. I get to know them, whatever. They're cool. It turns out we have some mutual friends. We stay in touch. They play Melee. I'm in Montreal. They live in Montreal, blah, blah, blah. Then fast forward to now, present day. You know, I move. I live in NDG. Turns out they live in NDG, and I get in touch with them because I'm training for Battle of BC. You know, for the fucking trip that I'm doing to my cousins. And I'm like, dude, these guys are really good. Like, they're way better than me, so I'll do some sparring with them. You know, I'll get better. These guys are younger than me, though, you know. And so then I show up. I'm like, dude, you guys want to fucking play Melee? And they're like, yeah, word. So they're like, come over. So I show up, but it's their dad's place, right? They live at home. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? We all did that shit. And that's regular. But I show up and... You know, I'm like 33, and these guys are like probably like 27, 28, which is not, you know, as you get older, the age gap is more chill. But I show up at their dad's place, you know, and it's like, hello, hi, Mr. Bear, like, I'm here to play video games. And I'm like, it's not like, hello, it's like, hi, Mr. Bear, I'm here to play video games with your sons. So... You know, and then we go to their basement. They got like all these TVs, and I'm there like, hey guys, like, we're all just gaming, you know. So it's pretty sick. Honestly, it's pretty great because I never had homies who I could play video games with, you know, especially Melee homies. 'Cause nobody's on my fucking level. So it's pretty cool. And these guys are rad. They make music and shit. And they come to my comedy shows. These guys are sweet kids. You know, they're sweet guys. So they're chill. Chill as fuck, but it was just funny to go over, and you know, Caitlin's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to my friend's house to play video games. So pretty sick. Oh, and then, dude, when me and Caitlin first started dating, she was exceptionally gracious, you know. I think she likes to say how on our first date I showed her a poster of a naked lady I had on the wall, my extracted wisdom teeth from my head, and my baby shoes. She came in. My mom gave me my baby shoes. They're right here. A little dusty. Cute little guy. Look at it. Still says Thomas on the bottom. Very cute. Now, some people would say I'm weird for having these. But to those people, I'd say... Do you want me to throw away my baby shoes? Okay, you want me to put these in the garbage? How? How could I do that? I would have no heart, you know? How could you throw out your baby shoes? It's just like, if I don't throw, I don't know what the fuck to do with them, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, they're a quirky thing. May as well put them on display. But Caitlin came in on one of our first dates, and she was like, oh, what's up with the baby shoes? And I was like, those are my kids. And she was like, huh? And I was like, I'm kidding. Those are mine. Which arguably is like a more insane statement to follow up. You know, the joke is, they're my kids. Isn't that crazy? I would never do something that crazy. Here's something more insane. They used to belong to me, and I like to show them off to my guests as the first thing they see when they enter my home. Anyway, she thought it was kind of crazy, but she kept a straight face. That's what I mean. She was very gracious. You know, she was like, oh, cute. And then, you know, years later, she'd be like, you remember when we showed you your fucking baby shoes? That was insane. And I still, I'm like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Baby shoes are cute, whatever. But, oh, yeah. So Caitlin was super gracious. So that was our first date. I showed her my wisdom teeth and shit. It was pretty cool. It was during the pandemic, you know, so it's not like there was much better entertainment. You know, can't go to a bar. Well, can't go to a bar. You want to see something fucked? How would these teeth? Check these fucking teeth out. I don't know where they are, if they're still around. Oh, fuck. I think they got lost in the move. That sucks, dude. I always want to make some dice out of them, you know, like some tiny little dice. They were so gnarly. I think I kept them to because I hated them so much, because they caused me a lot of pain. And when they took them out, they were fucking gnarled, like the roots of an ancient tree, you know? And I was like, I can't believe those fucking things from my head. And I like to just, it's the same feeling as like when you pick a good nail, you pick your nail. Like, dude, it's the same feeling as like you pick your big toenail And I don't know. I've talked about this with Caitlin. This has happened to her, so I know I'm not that crazy. But like, dude, if your toenail grows, your big toenail, and then it's like you can like feel pressure on it. I don't know, from the flesh beneath it, whatever. And then you pick the big nail off, and it's like a release. It's like a pressure release. Oh, fuck, it feels so good. And then you like pinch the toenail, you bend the toenail in half, and you're like, you fucking squish it around, and you're like, you fucker. Fuck you. And then you're like, oh, that felt good, though. I don't know why picking feels so good. I'm getting like a little high just talking about it, Anyway, so yeah, so I was picking it. What was I talking about? Oh, the teeth. So yeah, so the teeth is like, I think it's the same feel. It's like they took them out. My only regret about my wisdom teeth is I wish I could have taken them out. It's the same thing as like popping a zit. You're like, oh, you just want to go in there and fucking, gah, just give me that tooth. How sick would that have been if you could rip out your own wisdom teeth and they're causing you pain and you're like, gah, Kalima. Anyway, so yeah, you rip out your fucking wisdom teeth. But anyway, I kept them on display because it's probably the same way that hunters feel when they kill an animal and they put the fucking head on the wall. It's like a struggle, but I vanquished it. It's got to be a similar feeling. I don't know. I can't get behind it because you kill an. I don't think I could do that. Part of me thinks I should kill an animal, like a wild animal. Not just go around punching dogs. That would be like, hey, good boy, bam. No. No, I should kill a wild animal once in my life and like eat it, and like process it to be like complete my transition in nature. I don't know. It's a crazy thought I had once when I was driving down. When I was moving from Ottawa to Montreal. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I wonder if that's how hunters feel when they fucking, I got my fucking tooth, you got your deer, pretty much the same shit. Anyway. But yeah, so I showed her that. I showed her my teeth. And then the other thing I showed her about Maylee is like, this is how fucking delusional I was before I started dating Caitlin. Truly delusional, I was like, and I was like, hey, Caitlin, do you want to watch a Super Smash Brothers Melee tournament with me? Now, I should say, this was on a day where she was like fucking hungover. So she wasn't going anywhere anyway. And she was like half unconscious, just, she was having a hungover day. But still, I was like, really in my head, I was like, I can give her enough context that she'll be as excited about this as I am. That was my delusion, And that, I think, is one of the best and worst characteristics of me, is like, actually, maybe not even worse. Honestly, one of the best. It's probably one of the most delusional, but it's one of the best because I'm like, I'm so jacked up about stuff, and I'll try to get you into it, maybe too forcefully, you know what I mean? I'll be like, no, you got it. But, like, I think that's cool, I'm excited about things. I want to show them to the people that I love. But delusional, right? It's like, dude, let me show a 35-year-old woman a tournament featuring children playing an old children's game, like sweaty nerds, and let me explain to her the deep intricacies of this old video game in so much detail that she will understand the fervor that I am watching this with. It's like, there's no way, So anyway, that's all kind of the Melee shit that's been happening lately. I've been fucking addicted to it. So shouts out Tybe, shouts out Bertrand. Word. Sock rich. I'm sock rich. I can't afford Vail, lift tickets, but I got tons of socks. Me and Caitlin, we got, we were running low on socks. And then I got 2 packs of socks. And Caitlin got a pack. And we came home, and I was like, we're fucking sock rich, dude. I looked at my sock area. I had so many socks. It just, nothing makes you feel more destitute than when you wake up on a morning and you look in your sock drawer and you have no good sock selections to choose from, right? You have all your B or C tier socks. Some fucking pair of dress socks that you got in the 10th grade, you know what I mean? Or those are the ones that feel like sandpaper on your feet, are hella thin, or like oh, those ones have like holes and are falling apart, or like those ones are like mismatched. Those are your B, C, D tier socks. You run through your A tier socks quick, and they're all in the washer, and those are joyous days when you run your A tier socks. Monday to like Wednesday, Thursday. A tier sock at the gym, A tier sock at the office. Your fucking feet are comfy. But then like Friday, you hit your B tier socks, and you're starting your morning, and you're looking at your B tier, and you're like, fuck, dude, like I'm gonna have to live my whole day today with my B tier socks with one toe poking out the end, or fucking mismatched. My compulsions are just scratching at me all day if I got mismatched socks. If it's too thin and you can feel every fucking contour of your shoe just molesting your foot. I need a barrier, man. I need a fucking membrane to protect my tootsies from the onslaught of leather, polyester, plastic, pleather, manufactured evil of my shoes. I need my A-tier socks. And lately, I was looking at my sock corner, and I was seeing my B and C-tier socks way too often. So I said, fuck it, I'm splurging. I bought 2 packs of Nike, one black and one white. Fat stacks of socks. I rolled them all up, threw them in there. I looked, socks, A-tier socks spilling out of my sock zone. I said, fuck. I'm sock rich, pussy. Caitlin, too, she's caking on socks. She's got socks for days. We have so many socks, we're mixing them up, I took hers by mistake. I said, fuck, these are too small, So, I'm sock rich, bitch. I got 99 problems, but a pair of socks ain't one. You know what I'm saying? I got 99 problems, but a sock ain't one. I feel like that one's better, right? A pair of socks is not. I got 99 problems, but a sock ain't one. Hit me. All right. Egg Zen. Perfect egg quest. Dude, I think you can find Zen in a lot of things, I think you can find Zen in like the perfect crunch of a boot on a snowfall, You can find Zen playing with your dog. You can find Zen, I don't know, probably on a walk. Maybe even organizing the desktop of your computer perfectly, right? Maybe writing some good code. Maybe you're playing basketball, you do a fucking slam dunk. You can find Zen in a lot of places. A place lately where I've been finding the pursuit of harmony, the pursuit of nirvana, right? Enlightenment, is the perfect fried egg. Oh, it's quite the quest. I fucking enjoy it. It's a good one, right? It starts for me lately, no nonstick pans. Teflon, when heated, I don't know the exact science, but when heated, the chemicals in Teflon can break down and can smoke off. And that stuff can be harmful to you. In fact, if you were to get a bird, like a parrot or a parakeet or whatever, we all know birds. If you were to get that, what you'll read online is that they say you have to throw away all your nonstick cookware because the fumes that burn off when you have a nonstick, although usually like immediately harmless to humans, at least in the short term, are lethal to birds because they're so tiny. It's that whole like canary in the coal mine thing. That's how they used to test for poisonous gases when people were mining. They would just bring in a canary, and if the canary died, they'd be like, "Fuck, we got to get out of here," right? Because there's poisonous gases. So, no nonstick for me, because I think that based on what I've read online, I think that there are harmful chemicals that are put on it that shouldn't be around food, you know. So no nonstick. But what that means is I use a stainless steel frying pan. Now, if you've ever cooked with that, those are just like the straight up like silver ones, right? Not cast iron, straight up. If you ever cook with that, maybe you've had a bad experience like I did my first couple of times where, you try to cook with it, everything just sticks to it. It's a fucking nightmare. And you look at it, you go, how the hell do chefs use this? Why is this a tool? This is an awful tool. What a garbage piece of shit. Okay? The first part of Zen, of the perfect egg, is you must understand your tools, right? The stainless steel frying pan is a fucking amazing tool. Exquisite. But it must be given the respect and treatment that it deserves, right? And if you treat it with respect, and you fucking understand your tool in the way a samurai understands his sword, you will be rewarded with perfect eggs, okay? And you will be rewarded with a non-stick surface, if you can believe that, okay? Okay. You got to heat up the pan hot. Make it hot. You got to put an oil that has a high smoke point, like avocado or canola. Some people say canola is bad for you. I think I asked ChatGPT, and it was like same kind of thing as Teflon. It was like in high heats, it can break down and maybe add some stuff. I'm not fully convinced. I think canola, the vendetta against canola oil lately is class warfare, because canola oil is cheaper than other high smoke point oils like avocado oil, But that's just me. If you want to use canola oil, if you use canola oil, I'm not saying that you hate poor people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying your purchases reflect that. If you use avocado oil, sorry. I got to do that again. I'm not saying if you use avocado oil or other bourgeoisie oils, I'm not saying that you hate poor people, but your choices reflect that. Got to do it twice for the clip sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, use a high smoke point oil, canola, avocado. Sometimes you get like a mix. I think vegetable oil has a higher smoke point. Don't use olive oil because it will erupt into flames. I know that from experience. I did that shit. So don't use olive oil. Use a different oil. Don't use butter because it'll burn. And it'll smell bad and fuck up your pan. Next, you put it hot. On my stove, I put it like 8. I don't put it max. I feel like max temperature you almost never need. Max temperature on a stove is crazy, unless you're like boiling water basically. But I put it like at 8. The max setting on mine is 9, so put it at 8. Pretty hot, right? Then you put your oil in, and the oil should be smoking. You might even have to turn on your fan to get rid of the smoke, but it should smoke. It shouldn't erupt into flames, but it should smoke. And you move the pan around to coat all the oil all over. And you just let it coat quickly, maybe like a couple seconds, like 10 seconds, 15, just so it's kind of coated in there, right? Then you turn it all the way down to the cooking temp. I usually do like 5 for eggs, and you crack an egg in, right? And then the game is afoot, right? Then you crack an egg. Now, because your pan is so hot, like you can do 2 things. You can heat it up, do the oil, coat it, so it's like hot on 8, coated in oil. You can turn it down, and you can wait till pan gets a little cooler. I haven't tested that method too much. That's still part of my Zen journey, right? I usually crack because I don't know, like, I don't fully understand how it becomes a non-stick surface. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Basically, what I've been doing is you turn it up, you turn it, like you do the oil, and then you turn it back down. You crack an egg, or you crack as many eggs as you want. and then they'll cook fast, right? Because it's still hot from when you're doing the oil, so it'll cook real fast. So this is the best for fried eggs, not for scrambled. So it cooks fast, and it doesn't need that much time. Okay, yeah. So here's where the zen comes in. So it starts to cook, right? This is all part of it too. It starts to cook, and there's all different ways it can erupt. Because if you go in when the pan is still hot, you don't let it cool, then your whites are gonna bubble, which is not bad, but that's just one way, right? The other thing that's gonna happen when you do that is that the yolk on the bottom will cook a little bit, which again is okay, right? But what that means is when you flip it to do over easy, you cannot leave it flip. Like I leave it flip for like a second, because like you already got a lot of cooked yolk on the bottom. If you leave it flip for too long, you're gonna cook it all the way through. You're not gonna get any liquid yolk, which you gotta have the liquid yolk, right? So then there's a whole zen, and then the other part of the zen, right, is like at the same time you got to toast the bread, and you got to get the butter ready, so that the timing lines up. Toast pops, butter is on it. Butter has a chance to melt a bit, so you're not just chomping into, segmented butter portions around the bread. Butter can be evenly spread, right? Butter melts a bit, spread. Then the eggs are finishing, and then you put it, right? But the quest is zen, because it's like all of these variables you must be in control of. In order to deliver perfect eggs. And I think it's so clear because, you have this chaotic situation of like heat, oil, like crackling, like fizzling, frying, popping, right? You got the toaster that's like cooking the bread, and then it pops. You get the butter that might be hard, and you like cut it, and your knife goes like it cuts through and hits the fucking countertop, and the butter's still kind of frozen, right? It's all these chaotic elements. But if you can master the zen cooking of the eggs and be perfectly one with it, the result from this, this this smorgasbord of chaos is perfect, pillowy fried eggs, right? That are like little pillows, little pillows of joy, right? And then you can puncture them, and the yolk spills out onto the buttered toast, Fuck, it's so good. And then you cut it, and it's your breakfast. I'm gonna cry, honestly. It's just so beautiful. So beautiful. There's nothing quite as beautiful in the whole world as a perfectly fried egg on toast. Dang. I love that. Anyway, so that's the zen, right? Is like you fry it, and sometimes, depending on the tool, maybe you're at a different. I make eggs at work. Different frying pan, different tool. Got to be more zen. Got to examine the egg, right? You always gotta. You must master the environment. Control the egg. Very sick. Love that shit. So I've been seeing the zen in the egg. Spicely gay joke from my perspective. Oh, no. More silly voices. Oh, I guess some announcements I should have done at the top, but whatever. Yeah, so twice a week, or once every 2 weeks for things I hate instead of once a week. Once a week felt a lot like pollution. Felt like noise pollution, me just on here talking about dumb shit. I'm having a lot more fun today. I think because like I waited a week, you know, and I feel like I'm giving you guys more value, you know, because it's just like I was forcing it, you know. I was coming on here every week, and I was like, talking about whatever, and I just, you know, some people, I got some nice messages from the homies, you know, and I really appreciate that. But I think in order to keep it real, you know, in order to keep it real, I'm going to do two things. I'm putting out less clips. I'm going to make an Instagram page dedicated only to things I hate clips, so that I know that, you know, if people really want to watch it, that they can. So that way, if anyone follows it, I know for real that they're into it, you know. I'm still thinking about that though, but I think I probably will do that because I hate to pollute people's feeds with just me talking about dumb shit. So that way I know that if people are really into it, they'll be following it. And I'm going to put out less clips in general too, because I don't just want to pollute. I want to put out some cool shit. I felt a little bit like I was polluting, you know. And by that I mean just putting out garbage and just putting out stuff that I wasn't that proud of, or that I didn't think people needed to hear, you know. I also really want to do more creative stuff. I don't want my sole output to be things I hate and just be me, you know, talking shit. I'm talking about the zen of eggs. Don't get me wrong, I really like that. But like, I would like to create some things instead of just to dump my voice on the internet and call it, you know, call it a job, or call it my occupation, or not even an occupation, call it the limit of my creative output. You know, I think I can offer some better shit. So I want to focus on stuff like that, and I want to kind of do more cool stuff on the show. People have been like, why don't you have guests? And I'm like, I'm thinking about it. I'd like to have guests that are cool. Like, I don't just want to bring on a bunch of comics from Montreal and talk about dumb shit. Like, I don't know. Maybe I can get some cool guests. Maybe I can go do some cool interviews. Like, I don't know. I'm sure I could kind of figure this out. Yeah. So I don't know. Just like kind of change it up a bit. I just want to come on here and, you know, just talk some shit. I want to kind of I want to create and put a little more effort in. So that's why you're seeing less of things I hate and less clips, etc. I might not even do clips anymore. No, I think I want to do a couple, but maybe like one or two, like every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like one a week, something like that. Way decrease it because it just felt like garbage. Spicely gay joke. Shouts out Eric Spicely. This is so crazy. Like, we went to the dog park, and basically I was like just being myself. And then later he comes back and he's like, I wrote a joke about you. And he's like, it's about how gay you were acting at the dog park. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, fuck you. I was literally just being myself. And now you're being like, look at this fucking queer bag. You know, it's like, God damn. And anyway, so he has this whole joke that's honestly pretty funny. It's pretty great. And it breaks down all the shit I did and how he's like, yo, is this guy fucking gay or what? Because it's, you know, fair enough. You know what I mean? Like, but my joke that it's so cool because he wrote that joke and it works pretty good. And then I wrote a joke off of that, which is basically just what I told you. And it's also working pretty good. So it's this crazy, like, meta joke generation, which I never thought it would work. Like, he put me on one of his shows he did a while ago, and he was like, I'm gonna do the joke about you, and then I'm gonna bring you up, and then you should like say your perspective. And I gotta give him a shout out because like that was kind of the inception of this. So shouts out Eric. Thanks for the setup. You know, thanks for the alley-oop. But anyway, he goes, and when he told me it too, sorry, just a branch. But when he told me, he like messaged me on Instagram, and he was really chill about it. He's like, I have this joke. Like, I just want to, you know, make sure that you're cool with it. He was really cool about it. But I was pissed. I was like, fucking asshole. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was pissed, but I knew it was funny, you know. So I was like pissed, but I was like, this is also funny, and I get why he did this. But basically, so sorry, I'm teasing you guys. At the dog park, there's a couple things I did. I waved at him, which I gave him shit for because it's like, bro, a guy can't fucking wave, you know. I waved at him. I wore high waisted pants and tucked my shirt in because I'm a fashion diva and I stay up with the trends. I just want to point out he wore a fucking sweatshirt and some busted ass gym shorts. So it's like, you know, Adam Sandler versus like fucking Timothy Chalamet. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I do like fashion. I wore high waisted pants because I think they're sexy. And I wore a tote bag, right? My line for this is like every fucking homeless bisexual Gen Z in the plateau can wear a tote bag. Why can't I fucking have a tote bag? You know what I mean? Which I guess is kind of like a self burn, but whatever. I want to mention in the tote bag I had beers and chips. Guess that's not that gay, eh, Eric? But anyway, so I had that, and then I'm a touchy guy, you know. So he came up, and I was like, hey, buddy. I slapped his leg like that. I was like, how are you? You know. He told me some jokes, and I laughed too hard at them. Just trying to be nice, dude. Okay, jokes weren't that funny. He's a new comic. Just trying to encourage him, right? So that fucking happened. What was the other thing? The clothing, the wave, the leg touch, the laughing at the jokes. When I said to leave, this was true. I put a chicken in the oven for my dinner that day before I went to meet him at the dog park. We met at the we both have dogs, both live in NDG. We met at the park. And then we were hanging out for like an hour, and I remember I was like, oh fuck, I have a chicken. I also wanted to leave. I was done with the hangout, you know. I love Eric, but it's like just getting to know him. We hung out for an hour. I'm like, it's good, you know. But I didn't want to seem like I was being a dick. And I was like just like, okay, bye. You know, I wanted to have some reason. So I was like, I have a chicken in the oven. But then I was like, well, I can't just say that and be like, I felt compelled to invite him to be a nice guy. So I was like, do you want to come back to my place for some chicken? Right? Again, purely out of politeness. I was done with the hang. Okay. I wanted to go play Melee. I was good. And like, thank God he goes, no, you know? And I was like, okay, great. But then, and then in his joke, he's like, he tried to lure me back to his house with chicken so he could have sex with me, you know? I was like, what the fuck? And then the last thing I do my classic goodbye where I go like, right? I do that with everybody. I don't want to actually kiss you on the cheek, right? I just want to go, I just have a lot of love in my heart. I want to show it. So those are the things. So basically his joke is like, you know, you can see where it's going. He's like, this guy did all this gay shit. Like, he fucking waved. He fucking blah, blah, blah. And then he ends with, like, he tried to invite me. He ends with the chicken thing. And then his punchline is, like, the chicken was great, implying that we had sex, you know. Which is, like, great, you know. And it was so funny. He was telling this to me. He's like, don't worry. Like, I implied that you fucked me. And I was like, great. Like, what? He's like, don't worry. You were the top. And I was like, I don't care about that. I don't want to be involved, bro. I'm not homophobic. I don't know. Fuck you, whatever. So, yeah, you're the top, dude. It's cool. You fucked me. Anyway, so that was his joke. And it's pretty funny, especially when he gets to the part, because that part is kind of gay. And that's basically my joke. My joke is basically what I just told you. In fact, I even used some lines from it. You know what I mean? But that's pretty much it. I go like, the opener is like, of all my friends, like, I'm not gay, but if you asked all my friends which among us is most likely to be gay, they would all say me. And that pissed me off because I don't do gay shit. I do regular shit, and I get called gay. And then I go through the whole thing, and then I hit the part. And I go like, yeah, that one's on me. You know what I mean? So it's just cool. Like, there are these two jokes that are kind of working, right? And they came from this fucking experience that we had together. And they're like basically off. It's like, anyway, so then I was at his show, and he's like, I'm going to do my joke. Then you should come up and tell your perspective. This was before I had actually written out the joke. So I get up after he does the whole joke about me, and I go like, Spice Lee's whole bit is just an Andrew Tate tweet, right? Because Andrew's always like, if you fucking think women are beautiful, you're gay. You know, he's always tweeting shit like that. So I was like, yeah, his whole thing is an Andrew Tate tweet. It's like, fellas, is it gay to wave? Fellas, is it gay to wear high-waisted pants? Which is like, you know. But like, fellas, is it gay to bring beer and chips? You know what I mean? Fellas, is it gay to wear a tote bag? You know? So it's like, I was like, and then I just basically told the joke on stage there. But it wasn't even, it was just me reacting and like doing, kind of what I just did. But then I was like, okay, well, there's no way this is going to work outside of this show because I need Spice Lee around. The vibe was like, it was a house show. It was like chill. It just worked. It just fit the vibe. I need Spice Lee here to like set it up, But then I was telling it to people, I was telling the story to people just like I told you guys. And people were dying. People were like thinking it was hilarious. And then finally my buddy Dickie, shouts out Dickie, he's like, you have to tell it on stage. And I was kind of like, yeah, fuck, you're right. So I did that and it worked. It was great. So it's this weird, like, double, like, two sides of a coin meta joke. It's pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, that happened. That was pretty fucking neat. Shouts out Eric Spicely. Shouts out Matt Dickey. Swing Dance Club for Katherine. What's it? Sorry. Didn't think. Oh, word. Swing Dance Club for Katherine MacDonald, bro. Shouts out my grade 9 crush, Katherine MacDonald. Mwah. So hot, dude. So cute. If you're listening, I still love you. Just kidding. Don't call me. But loved you in grade 9. But yeah, okay. I got moves on the dance floor. Not great ones, but I have some, More importantly, I have the basics of like, I don't know what you call it, like swing dance or like classic dance where you're like with somebody and you're spinning them and shit. I got the basics. And I got a couple flash moves too. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you, it pays fucking dividends, okay? It pays dividends that I learned that shit in high school at this club that I'll tell you about. Because I'm on the dance floor, I'm spinning bitches, and I'm fucking throwing girls around, When I was single, it was great. It worked really great. And Caitlin loves it too. But she's like, you're always too aggressive. You spin too fast. Which is like, she's probably right. You know what I mean? Yeah, she's right. So, but it pays dividends because I can dance with her. And, when I slow it down, she really likes it. And in more ways than one, boom. But like, it's just nice. We do a little spin. I know a couple moves. It pays dividends. Learn how to swing dance. Learn to do the spins. Take a couple swing dance lessons if you're a kid. Even if you're old, take some swing dance. It pays dividends. Chicks thinks it's sexy. Everybody thinks it's sexy. Guys, chicks, It's just you look cool. Anyway, my sister, Caroline, shouts out Caroline, we went to the same high school, but she's 4 years older than me. So she was basically graduating as I was landing, Oh, we have a visitor, Schmaltz. So he probably won't come in, but let's see. Is there a little young boy out here? Oh, come on! Oh, who's the little guy? Who's that sweet boy? Come here. Come on. Come here up. You want to get on the camera? Come here, boo-boo, right here. Come on. He takes a lot of coaxing. Come on. Up. Yeah, up here. Oh, come on. Oh, he's just a little baby. Hey, little buddy. He likes the morning cuddles, Who's a sweet guy. Yeah, look at that. Mwah. Good dog. Cool. So yeah, my sister Caroline, she went to the same school as me, but like she was graduating as I was, entering. But she gave me some tips, and I don't know, it came up. She was in a swing dance club when she was there. That started by some teacher. I don't know. I can't remember if she started it. She might have, but she started a swing dance club. She was kind of into rockabilly a bit as a kid or as a teenager, and anyway, she just got this going, or she was in it or something. I can't remember. But She was in it. She was like, it was sick, and she was like, you should totally do that. And she was kind of like, yeah, chicks love it. And I was like, word, like chicks would love that, you know. And I was like, I could dance with girls. That would be fucking tight. So I was like, okay, like that's a great idea, Caroline. Like I will do that. So I did, I did that. I like went and talked to the teacher who put it on for her, because it was like by the time I got in there, it was not a thing. And I just remembered this the other day. That's why I was like, you know, I was talking to Caitlin, and it just popped in my head. But I talked to all my friends. I don't know how I convinced a bunch of grade 9 kids, like, let's go do swing dancing. I definitely told it to my I definitely told it to my homies. I was like, boys, like, we got to start this because then we can dance with all these girls. And then they were like, oh, word, good point. And then that got all of them on board. And then we got into it. I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. Because then with all of them on board, we went to the girls and we're like, girls, do you guys want to do swing dancing? Which is like, and they were like, okay, cool. And then we all got it. And I think what happened is I did it all to kind of get with this girl, Katherine MacDonald. So cute, you know. But my buddy like scooped her, you know. He got her before me, damn. Or something. I can't remember. But I don't think there was beef. I think I was too shy to tell him. And then he was like, well, I'll go with Katherine. And I was like, okay, you know. But I went with this other girl. I can't remember. Oh, maybe Lori Bewald. Oh, bro. Damn. Dude, when you remember these names, it's like throwback. Anyway. Yeah, so I think I did go with Lori. I think that's how it happened. Oh my God. And then we were fucking, anyway, it was sick. It was a great swing dance. You know, I was dancing with cute girls. It was great. And then I think that precipitated the infamous head massage date. That's got to be it. So I think I was dancing with Lori Bewald. She was sexy. She was cute. I liked her. And then from there, I was like, let's go out. And then we went out to a movie theater, you know, like 8 people, you know, for a date. But it was grade 10 or 9, whatever. I don't know. And then we went out, and then we sat next to each other, and then, you know, I get all my info and pop culture reference and like instruction. I get all my information and life instructions from movies. That's how I live my life. I watch a movie and I go, oh, okay, that's how you do that scenario, right? So every time I saw a date in a movie, you do the yawn move. Everybody knows the fucking, ooh, you know, classic. So I was like, dude, I'll do that, right? On the first date, 10 minutes in grade 9. This is still so fucking cringy. So then I go to do that, but I don't know. I did it wrong, and we're kids. So Lori doesn't move her head, and I panic because my hand is hanging above her head. Like, what the fuck is it doing out there? So I just transition into a head massage, right? And I go, and I never forget. Lori turns just like fucking, you know, like literally a slow turn, and she was like, "What the fuck?" There was no second date, you know, shockingly. But I think that all started with the swing dance club, which was a great idea. You know, even though maybe I fucking botched the follow up, it was great. Got to dance with girls, learn some fucking moves. It's a good move. I recommend it. Didn't know I was on a diet. Oh yeah. I got a spare tire, right? I'm not fat, but I would like to have abs once in my life. I would like to have abs like once. I think that would be cool, you know. So I have fat on my stomach, and I'm trying to get rid of it so that I can see the abs. And it's like, how do you do that? Well, it's like And in fact, honestly, this is premature. This is not where it needs to start. It needs to start of like, I've been working out and I've been eating. You know, here we go. Now he's like, let me out of here, Dad. Oh my God. All right. Okay. Okay, go get her. Go on. I've been working out and I've been eating lately, and sometimes lately, like I used to be able to just eat a billion things and like almost never be uncomfortably full. Now it's like if I have a bit too much of a meal, I'm uncomfortably full. Like I'm brushing up against uncomfortably full far too often lately, you know. But I'm like, damn, I don't feel like I'm eating that much. So it all started where I was like, let me count my calories because I want to see. Everyone says, you know, if you eat a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. And I was like, I want to see if that's true. You know, I think it's an interesting thing to be like, if you literally just eat a calorie deficit, eat less calories, you'll lose weight. Because it's interesting, like, you're like, wow, if I have, you know, if I just eat cake, but I stay under my caloric intake, I'll lose weight. That's I think the science, right? I'm sure eating other foods makes it easier, but if you only eat cake or like sugar, but you still stay under your calories, you'll lose weight. Now it's really hard to do that because sugar is high in calories, right? But it's low in nutrients. So you eat sugar, you don't feel full, but you just took in a bunch of calories. But anyway, I was like, that's so interesting. It was just interesting to me where it was like kind of black and white. Like you stay on your calories, you lose weight. So I was like, I want to try that. Like I want to see if that actually works. So I was like, okay, well I got to count my calories, right? So I do the thing. Like I download an app, and the goal was to just stay under my daily limit, which I think is like 2,700 or something, you know. And it was also to see like how much am I like. I'm like, am I really overeating? Am I eating too much? Because sometimes it feels like that, but it doesn't always seem like that. You know, like I eat pretty healthy and I don't eat crazy amounts, but I just wanted to get a grip on it. I wanted to get some numbers down, you know? So I was kind of doing like a science experiment. I was like, okay, let's see. So I downloaded an app. I was like, well, first thing, if I'm doing a science experiment, I got to, you know, get my measurement tools and I got to get the ability to record results, etc. So I was like, well, I need an app. So I got an app, you know. Called Lose It. It's a pretty great one, by the way. Better than MyFitnessPal, which fucking sucks. Anyway. So I got this app, and when you set up the app, it's like, what's your goal? You know, do you want to lose like a pound or two? And I was like, I guess I'll, you know, choose this goal, which was like in a deficit. I think it was like 300 or 400 calories deficit. I was like, this sounds pretty good, you know? And then I started to track, right? And I'm doing it at home, and I'm like weighing out my food and blah, 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 and I'm tracking. And, you know, then I'm doing it at work, and at work we order, you know, we have a team lunch, and I'm weighing, I'm like, I can't eat that because this, and people are like, oh man, like, when did you start a diet? And I'm like, I'm not on a diet. Like, I'm just counting my calories. I'm doing a science experiment, you know? And they're like, well, are you trying to lose weight? And I was like, yeah, I guess, you know, I don't know, just to see, just to see. And they're like, and you're staying under your caloric intake? And I was like, of course. Like, that's the whole purpose of the experiment, you idiot, you know? And they were like, sounds like a diet. And I was like, it's not a fucking diet. But even, like, I started to text Kayla, and I was like, I broke my calories today. Like, I can't eat anything else. And she was like, oh, like, homeboy's on a diet. And I'm like, I'm not on a diet. I was like, why is everyone talking about dieting, you know? I'm just counting my calories, making sure I stay under my caloric intake in order to lose weight. I'm not on a fucking diet, you know? So that was a funny thing that happened. Man, you know, resurrecting, we're at time. I'd like to give everyone back 10 minutes. But resurrecting an ancient Things I Hate segment, harsh rap lyrics. I fucking saw a good one the other day. I think I wrote it down somewhere, so maybe we'll do that next time. But yeah, this was a good one. I had fun. Go cook yourself some eggs. It's 20 to 11 on Saturday. Get up. You're burning daylight, homie. Go have an egg zen moment. Have a coffee. Saichitsu. Blessings to you all. Blessings. Blessings. Love you guys. Bye. Love you. Bye. Love you. Bye.